Well, Congresswoman Beatty, you have it here, the Mueller Report, quite a read. Your reaction, first of all, to what you've read inside this report.
Well, reading the actual report to some 448 pages is certainly a lot different than what the American public is hearing from Attorney General Barr. He's clearly tried to whitewash everything. You're appalled when you read this. What you do know is that we have a president that is wrong, immoral, corrupt, unethical, and unpatriotic. And so that's my first take.
And yet, Mueller didn't reach any conclusion that there should be obstruction charges against the president. As you read through this, do you think he should have taken that step?
Well, absolutely. When you read through it and what you hear from the interpretation of it from Attorney General Barr, two different things. The report clearly says to us, we have two Americas. If you or I did any one of the plethora of things in here, we would be indicted on it. What you hear is a president 37 some times not responding, not giving an answer. We have a president who we know by the other individuals interviewed that worked directly for him on his campaign, that we know during the campaign, during his election, that he misled the American people. I will go as far as saying he actually lied to the American people.
So what's the next step? I know it seems as if Robert Mueller might have left the next step up to Congress.
Absolutely.
So some members of Congress are talking impeachment. Some members of Congress are saying it's time to move on and get beyond this. What do you predict is going to happen?
Well, I think that there are going to be a few more steps. I think we need clarity and transparency. We would like to have an unredacted copy of this. I think the American public needs to have it to actually see. I think that there will be a track of folks. As we know, we have the Oversight and Investigation Committee. So we have Chairman Elijah Cummings being sued because he and his committee have asked for tax returns and financial papers. We know that we have Congressman Schiff that's moving forward on the Intelligence Committee. And then we have the Judiciary Committee who is going full speed ahead, subpoenaing Barr and Mueller, which I actually think we should do, and we should hear directly from them. But the bottom line for me and most of the constituents that I represent, they want this president out of office.
You know, a lot of people look at this and say, though, maybe Democrats should start concentrating on the next election and concentrate on running government instead of allowing Donald Trump to continue to dominate the narrative, that it's time to just move on and go about the business of governing.
I absolutely agree with those constituents who say that, because I checked in my office and I can tell you that people call about health care, they call about jobs in the economy, they call about housing and education, and the list goes on and on. So I think we have to make sure that we're protecting our voters' rights. And I can tell you that Speaker Pelosi is ahead of the game on that. She appointed Congresswoman Marshall to head up the House Administration Committee on Voters' Rights. We still have voters who are discriminated against and voters who aren't having the full protection of their voting rights. So I think we have to do that, get people educated, and move ahead so people vote and realize voting is their voice. Let's take this president out. Let's make sure we get a president in that's for the people.
You know, you also, I know, are working on the government committee that looks at diversity and in the banking industry, in the financial services industry. And that is not a place that you look at the boards and see a lot of people of color, a lot of women. This is a mission for you, isn't it?
It's a huge opportunity and something that I've worked on my entire lifetime. Advocating for women, advocating for minorities and diversity. And that just does not mean race, gender, and ethnicity. We're talking about millennials. We're talking about those who represent rural America. But one of the things that we are saying to banks and to those in the financial institution and beyond, corporate America, government America. We're not just checking the box. We're not just going for groupthink. What we want to see is diversity of the workplace. We want to make sure that we're looking at the C-suites and the board of directors, when we look at the lack of women and diversity in corporate America, it's embarrassing for us to be in 2019 and still not have diversity at the table. So we're going to look at who you hire to protect and to invest your dollars. That means law firms, CPAs. So this is an incredible experience, not only for the 3rd Congressional District, but for the entire nation.
Congresswoman, we thank you for being with us.
Thank you. I always enjoy being here.